Hello, and welcome to the Pause Button Podcast. Before we get to this week's episode, we felt it was important to address the bigoted and hurtful comments made by J.K. Rowling. We started our review of the Harry Potter films before her recent tweets and in no way support or share her despicable views of transgender people. Trans women are women, and trans men are men. We also believe that while Rowling created the world of Harry Potter, her art is not dominated by her views, and the joy, nostalgia, and messages of the wizarding world belong to everyone who has enjoyed this franchise over the years. A donation has been made to the Transgender Legal Defense and Education Fund on behalf of the Pause Button Podcast, and if you want more information, their link is in the description below. We hope you enjoy the episode.
1, 2, 3, clap. 1, 2, 3, Maloney.
Hey everyone, this is your host Brian, and welcome to episode 28. Today's topic, facial hair. It's not the beard on the outside that counts, it's the beard on the inside. Excuse me. Can I start again?
Oh my god.
Wait, if you haven't gotten rid of the audio yet, can we all keep it and we'll export this?
Hey everyone, this is your host Brian, and welcome to episode 28. Today's topic, facial hair. It's not the beard on the outside that counts, it's the beard on the inside. Action Hank, 1997, Dexter's Lab. Find out about all that and more on this week's episode of the Pause Button Podcast.
I don't think I listened to you at all.
Those were terrible choices in what you listed.
We can't agree on that? It's the beard on the inside that counts?
No.
You guys don't remember that episode?
I do remember the episode.
Thought that'd be a fun intro.
Dexter with a beard is not good, though.
You didn't get the episode. It's not about this beard. It's about the beard on the inside.
But the only time he has a beard, though, is at the last episode, and that's the only episode that I feel like there's a beard on the inside, and it's a terrible episode.
You didn't see the episode where he meets Action Hank and he grows his fake beard and uses it to attack people?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
No.
And then Action Hank, he has this goatee. He grabs it and pulls it longer, and then they tie their beards together.
Yeah.
What is this?
That happened.
Oh my god.
Brian's right. Brian's right overall.
Right?
I just don't think I listened to his opening at all today. I was so concentrating at staring at Joey.
Really?
I was just staring at
was
Joey
barely
the whole
there.
time. I don't think
Do you
I.
want me to change it? If
No.
half the people on the podcast don't pay attention, how
We
many
already
listeners
committed.
are going to make it through?
We already committed.
Yeah, that's fair. It's not
We're
the
in.
opening on the outside.
We're in.
It's the opening on the inside.
Well, what happened to me is we were trying to sync up the audio with the clap, and then my Zoom went haywire, right when that was happening, so I was like, well, now the clap is fucked, and then I couldn't think about really much else.
I think
it's
fine.
You were all, there we go.
It's fine.
I didn't hear yours
Okay.
at all, so it might have blended with Pat's.
I definitely heard distinct
Well,
claps.
Okay. But regardless.
Giving our audience
Okay.
a sneak peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, how bad we are at syncing up audio over
Yes.
the internet.
No, we just clap to
real
applaud each other. We just build each other's ego up. We clap each other, just good job.
Have we done way more episodes in quarantine than we did out of quarantine?
I think at this
No.
point, maybe. Or
We're
it's at
coming
least
up on a
close.
year. We've been in quarantine for, what, 5
Since
months?
March.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 months. But, we've been...
Definitely not 5 months.
No, because that would
Right?
be...
Oh, I guess
August?
5 months, yeah.
Yeah, we did 7 months with... we're coming up on it, for sure. We're almost a half online podcast.
Why you gotta diss me like that, Brian, by telling me I'm wrong correctly?
You're wrong. You're just... right after you, agreed with me on Action Hank and everything.
Yeah, really, real betrayal.
It feels like it's been longer, though. I could definitely
Yeah.
agree with that. It feels like we haven't done this in person in
Yeah,
forever.
exactly. I
That's
feel like
fair.
what we're really learning, though, is that while Brian may have a nice beard on the outside, he has no beard on the inside.
Oh, that really
Clean-shaven.
hurts.
Oh,
Pat,
definitely.
do you have a fun new name
Mhm.
that has to do with beards or something?
Well, my sunshine name?
Yeah.
You really put me on the spot there.
You don't have to.
You're always first, though.
Yeah,
Sure, I'm the
He didn't know what the intro would be, though. To be fair.
the sunshine stash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there
well,
we go.
normally like I get ready because I could see he's building up to the intro, and that time he was just like, "Boom, what's your name?" And that was
You never know
that
where I'm
was
going to hit, man. I'm
rough.
just jumping all over the place.
I'd like for audio listeners, because that's all we have, to know that Brian did finger guns when he said that.
No, I didn't do finger guns. I did well, I guess that's
it definitely
it's
looked
the
like
motion
finger guns.
people do with finger guns, but I was just shaking like my hands back and forth, like ho ho, what's gonna happen? It's crazy.
Oh boy.
Tom, are you still the new name?
I am Tom the Tech Man,
I like that. If we ever get shirts, I think Tom the Tech Man's the first shirt.
and I should be depicted as a robot because I have no soul.
Easily. Oh, whoa.
So we're just gonna put
Def-
Mark Zuckerberg on a shirt like that.
I don't want to get sued, so no.
Yeah.
There was like a meme that I saw of Mark Zuckerberg, and he was just sitting there being himself. But the caption of the meme just said like, "Why does Mark Zuckerberg look like this?"
He
And I
looks
was
weird.
like-
I saw a comparison between him and a wax figure of him, and the wax figure looked more lifelike.
Oh God.
There's also that recent picture of him like surfing or something, and his face was just
yeah,
coated in sunscreen, like he doesn't know
yeah.
what sunscreen like works like.
Like it looked like Dave Chappelle when he did like the
White
white
face,
face and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I saw someone put his face over like the Joker, or the Joaquin
Really,
Phoenix.
that was it's an uncomfortable
no.
image.
It
Yeah.
was the Dark Knight one where he's leaning on the car with his hair blowing.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard he's suing an island. By the way, that picture. Somebody like commented on that picture. Said he was like suing an island. I don't know.
Who
Mark
knows?
Zuckerberg sounds like the kind of guy that does whatever he can to make money.
Yeah.
Please don't sue us, Mark Zuckerberg. We don't have much.
If you wanted to
Joey-
make Facebook, you would have made Facebook.
Joey, do you got a fun new name for us?
Yeah, I'm the Manicotti mascot today.
Ooh, I like it.
God damn it! Why do I?
What even shape is that noodle?
Manicotti? Fuck. I don't know. I googled pastas before and I don't remember what the picture looked like.
You know, like a twirl or like a bow tie or.
Manicotti. I don't know. I want to say it's like flat. I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't like flat pasta. Doesn't sit right with me.
So you don't like lasagna?
No, I don't.
Really?
Oh, they look kind of like I googled it. Manicotti is a pasta dish that looks
Oh, it's the
essentially
shells, right?
yeah, it's like a shell. It looks like you essentially make like an enchilada out of the pasta.
that
Yes, I
actually-
do like manicotti
That
then.
sounds good.
Yummy, yummy. My aunt makes some good manicotti in my tummy.
Okay. Sure thing, bud.
So Brian, why don't you end the intros with yours?
There we go. So for the last time, I am your humble host on Lake Michigan's coast, the skilled talker on his way to a guild and Oscar, an excellent master, and all. How did I mess it up on the last time I was gonna do it?
Yikes.
I'm Brian.
Yikes.
Hence why.
Why is today the last time you're gonna do it?
You'll see. You'll
Going
see.
out on a whimper.
Just attached. Just, yeah.
Go quietly into the night. That's how you should.
Real
do it,
limp
man.
dick right there.
I just really hope that his next intro is just him going, like he used to all the time. Those were the days. He's kind of fixed that. It still pops in a little bit, but like, man, we used to get some good ones.
Yeah, while editing, it pops up every here and there, but I try and get rid of them as much as I can.
What was the one word I forgot? Bird bath. Remember in BioShock episode where it's like the bird bath?
Oh boy.
That was a good time.
That was
Yeah.
great. That was great. My brain broke.
So how about
all
we
right.
lead into those hot brackets, Brian?
Speaking of brains breaking, I had a really hard time this week deciding because we have our final four for bracket for debate. It's week 6, the thrilling finale. We're here. We started the summer off with 16 movie soundtracks, and now we only have 4 left, and today only one of them gets to leave the winner. We got Scott Pilgrim, the Blues Brothers, Guardians, and Into the Spider-Verse. So, as you can tell, Devontae is not here. I think we forgot to mention that. He had a very nice surprise wedding yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it was a good time.
it
All
was
of
a
us were there.
fantastic time.
He is wed, he is taken. Any listeners that were hoping, from the sounds of his sultry voice, you missed out. He's going to say goodnight to someone else in that voice.
Yeah.
The rest of us are unmarried at this point, just so you know, if you're keeping track of that. All right. So we've got, we're going to start off in the east side here with, actually, sorry, I forgot to get my timing thing going. Call that a timer. Okay. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World versus Blues Brothers. Go.
I'm going to go with Blues Brothers. I love Scott Pilgrim's soundtrack. I've probably listened to it far more because of that style of music appeals to me more. But I think that the Blues Brothers soundtrack is overall more iconic, and it also has a lot of creative use of music and has a lot of absolutely fantastic guest performers.
Now last week Devontae brought up the whole like Blues Brothers is like a musical and like they can just use it like that. But Scott Pilgrim, basically the same thing. It's a band playing their music. So
yeah, I mean, granted, Scott Pilgrim has a lot of music that they use outside of the like musical portions, but overall, I'm gonna go with Blues Brothers on this. It's a tough call for me, but I've been thinking about it since last episode.
I'm actually really surprised, and now I'm kind of worried that we might have a tie. But yeah, I'm going to go with Blues Brothers. Again, I've been trying to fight for Blues Brothers every time, I think, for most of the categories that it's been in. Anyway, like Pat said, I think it's very iconic, has a lot of legendary figures in it, and actually, contrary to what Pat said, I think that type of music appeals to me a lot more than the music that was in Scott Pilgrim. So that's
Tom,
my vote.
what are you thinking, Tom?
Not surprisingly, Joey is incorrect. I vote Blues Brothers.
You agree with
Oh.
For most of the same reasons that were already stated.
Yeah. No, I went into this thinking I was going to vote Scott Pilgrim because just based on like my gut, the first time I bought a vinyl record, it was the Scott Pilgrim soundtrack. I was like, that's what I want. And I still don't own the Blues Brothers soundtrack, but you make really good points, and it's been 2 minutes, and I got to agree. So my apologies to Edgar Wright, but Blues Brothers is moving on to the championship.
Classics win.
Now, this one has no classics. On the west side, we have the 2014 powerhouse of Guardians of the Galaxy, Awesome Mix Volume 1, versus the surprise 2018 shot straight to our hearts, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Go.
This one's a little more difficult for me. I think both have absolutely brilliant soundtracks for superhero movies. Hell, not just for superhero movies, just in general as films. I think overall they both really nail their style, but I think Spider-Verse ekes it out on style just a little bit. Just that teensy bit more. Now, Guardians, I think, uses their music to the plot better. Like, they actively include it in moments like Peter Quill dancing at the beginning, and the big moment where when the song picks up, the Guardians, it flashes Guardians of the Galaxy on the screen. But I don't know, something about the way you get stuff like Miles Morales singing Sunflower, you get the big "What's Up Danger" moment. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that "What's Up Danger" moment is to die for, and also I think just the visual element kind of makes it seem like all the musical cues are basically like a music video rather than music being placed over a scene and the actors just reacting to it.
I'm gonna agree with both of the opinions so far. I'm going with Spider-Verse. Like Pat said, I really do like Guardians, and I think they used it well. But the fact that Spider-Verse was original for a lot of the songs too makes a big difference to me, and I think that it worked incredibly well.
That's a really good point, that a lot of this music was written for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But then, because Guardians was so good about going back, and like just making you feel it's like, that like early 70s kind of vibe.
I mean,
we got 3 seconds.
I am a tad biased in that I prefer Into the Spider-Verse's genre of music more as well.
Well, we hit 2 minutes. Where's our last decisions here?
Into the
Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse it is.
Yeah,
pretty clear.
Yeah,
Oh,
fairly clear
I
on
will
three of us.
also say I know for certain Devontae would have done Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is with.
No, I'll be honest. I was in my mind deciding which one I wanted, and I kind of didn't hear which one you guys wanted.
Of course.
Okay, it's fair to say that all four of these are like perfect soundtracks or near perfect.
Oh yeah,
you know?
they're all
so tough.
fantastic uses of their soundtrack. No
Yeah.
question. I'm actually genuinely uncertain of who I'm going to choose for the final.
So here we are, the championship. It's been 2 months. We've knocked off 14 other soundtracks, and it's Blues Brothers versus Into the Spider-Verse. Here we go.
Do you say in the Spider-Verse?
No, I said Into, or I was like
Okay.
Inna. I think I.
Inna.
He
Inna the-
slurred. He slurred a
Kind
little.
of Spider-Verse.
I think he said I lost my
I
spider.
think he's
purse.
drunk from yesterday.
Ooh.
Let's be honest.
I am not. Come on.
I was bit by a spider nurse.
Oh,
That'd
we
be
wasted
scary.
20 seconds. This is the
Yeah.
championship, and we wasted 20 seconds.
There's a comic where they meet an alternate universe version of Spider-Man that's made up of a bunch of little spiders.
Ooh. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I don't either, but we're not.
I'm gonna go Spider-Verse.
I will go Blues Brothers. Actually,
I'm going Spider-Verse.
you have. This is mostly why I did this.
I gotta go Blues Brothers here.
Oh my god.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Well, we can't. Here's the thing:
no.
we gotta now wait for Devontae.
No, so I did that mostly to see the grief on Brian's face. I retract my vote.
What?
And
What?
I'm gonna go with Spider.
You lying son of a bitch.
Oh, the pain in his eyes. It's to die for.
Wait, so
I was gonna say Spider-Verse seems way more like Tom's type
Oh
of
yeah,
thing.
no, that's absolutely.
you are conniving, you are hurtful, and we have a winner. Right?
Yes,
We have a
Yeah.
winner then.
absolutely.
All right, then there you have it. The official, all of them fought hard. We lost a lot of ones, but our winner is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Ding ding ding.
That is the greatest
We'll go.
soundtrack of all time.
We'll go send all the cast $3,000 each.
Yeah, we're gonna let them know that prize is coming their way. Post Malone.
That's
will
in
tweet you.
Bitcoin, though. That's in Bitcoin.
Oh,
Never forget though, Space Jam is still recovering from that absolute destruction. It still hurts.
Speaking of Bitcoin, though, is Bitcoin still valuable, or is that like
No.
done with now? Okay, it had
no,
its moment in the sun.
It's dropped.
Now,
It could make a comeback.
Yes. it
before we
did.
go on, you may not agree with us that that's the best soundtrack of all time. But we have a podcast and you don't, so that's just how it is.
Suck it, nerds.
Mm.
I'm gonna edit that out.
No,
Leave it.
stand by what we said.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Listeners,
Alright.
we love you. There's only like 10 of you. Please stay around.
All right, so that's it. The bracket for debate is done. What's coming up next? Well, you'll find out. It's a big surprise because we got some fun stuff planned for next episode. But for now, we're in this episode. Welcome to the Pause Button Podcast. Every other week, your four favorite hosts, Pat, Joey, me, and Tom, and Devontae's not here, but sometimes he is. We'll take a topic, delve into its past, discuss its present, and debate its dazzling future. And we'll do our darndest to entertain you along the way. You can expect surprising facts, funny jokes, deeply depressing monologues, and of course, unrelated witty banter. So whether you're watching a movie or playing a video game, sit down, shut up, and open your ears. It's time to hit pause. Speaking
Still
of
bothers me.
conclusions, don't, not now. All right, so speaking of conclusions, we are wrapping up the Harry Potter franchise. We're going to be talking about the last two movies and the franchise as a whole. But there's some unfinished business to attend to. Joey, how do you feel about Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, the sixth one?
Unpopular opinion. I like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the feeling of it. I actually didn't read that book, so I can't compare it to the book personally and say like, hey, this is wrong or whatever. But from what I remember from watching that movie, like that's one of the Harry Potter movies that I owned because it used to just like run on HBO when we used to have it, and I remember watching that movie a few times, and I just really liked the dark tone of it.
Can you give us like a one sentence like why you like it so much? Other than that,
I thought I just gave you that, Brian.
I want you to do it again.
I don't know.
But
It puts the
do it
lotion
better
on
this
it.
The movie's lame. And you're
Right.
lame too,
So-
Joey.
Joey, here's what we got right
You just
now.
sound like
The-
I knew Pat hated it. I knew it.
If you haven't listened to our previous episodes, the current ranking we have is Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, Chamber of Secrets, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Sorcerer's Stone, and Order of Phoenix last. Joey, Pat and I place the sixth one above Sorcerer's Stone. I would go further than that, but that's where Pat places it. Where do you place it?
The sixth one above Sorcerer's Stone? I'd keep it there, I guess. I would
Above
agree
one?
with that. Yeah.
Hey, look at that. There we go. I didn't expect that. Like I said, I debated putting this one above Prisoner of Azkaban. So the fact that it's
Oh,
at least
God.
above,
That is such garbage. I forgot.
I
That's
really like
sickening. That is sickening.
it. This Half-Blood Prince is better than Chamber of Secrets. No way you could tell me it's not. Okay, anyway, we're moving on.
Oh.
We already said it. It's below it. All right, so here's the
Rough.
past segment. We've got.
I didn't even get to say anything.
You talked
You
last
voted
time.
last week,
Yeah, you said it was just above Order of Phoenix because it's not
2 weeks
complete
ago.
garbage. Yeah, last episode.
Okay.
Or 2 episodes ago.
Well, maybe
But
I
that's what
wanted
you
to
said.
revise that a little bit.
You can't revise. You
There's
made
no
a decision.
revisions. All
I
right.
don't know if you guys talked about it since I wasn't there for the episode, but I just wanted to say that in the Goblet of Fire, I love the Quidditch World Cup thing. It just reminds me so much of the World Cup and soccer. I loved that.
Oh,
Thought
yeah,
was a
that
cool
would.
touch.
I forget. Yeah, that you're really big into soccer, so.
Yeah,
Makes
cool
sense.
stuff. But now we're at Deathly Hallows Part 1 from 2010. I remember it being one of the best movies with some like good action. It's a little bit slow. Ron is a little whiny, but
Little.
that's what I remember it being enjoyable. What's your guys like intro kind of?
Ron's a fucking idiot.
Ron is an idiot, but he's also being manipulated by an evil thing.
Right.
But he kind of knows that he is.
Yeah, but just because you know doesn't mean you can do anything about it. It's still like corrupting his mind. It's like the ring in Lord of the Rings. Frodo knows this thing's screwing with his head, but it's still gonna do it.
I was gonna say this
Yeah.
is the Ring
There
of
you go.
Sauron. We're
That being
That's a
said,
pretty good argument.
really enjoy this movie. Partially because I tend to be a book purist, and this movie sticks to the books pretty damn well. Just
Yeah.
a few details lost here and there. Think it has solid action sequences. Really like the dramatic beats. Ron and Harry being forced to kind of confront each other over Ron's jealousy issues he's had literally the entire series is a good one. Even if I think, you know, it's funny. I made that argument, but I tend to think Ron's a little bitch.
Accurate.
I
'cause
don't
he
care
is.
for Ron.
He is.
I don't care for Ron.
So
But
shitty.
ultimately, I also pity him here. In
Do
this
you not care
situation.
for him in general or just in this movie?
I think in general, I like Rupert Grint as Ron. I want to make that clear.
Yeah.
I just think in both the books and the movies, I tend to look at Ron and go like, "What do you bring to the table here, Ron?
That's,
Your family?
I want to talk about that.
That's it.
So
You bring your family."
I saw a Reddit post that said like he's one of this person's like favorite characters in all of fiction because he's like the like I'm trying to think
Is
of
the-
he's like he's the Black Widow of this.
Is he the
Like,
everyday man?
Hermione's like a goddamn genius. Harry Potter's the chosen one, and he's just like what like the sixth kid in this enormous family with nothing special about him. So he's an interesting character to like
Well,
kind of read about.
and he is. It's just like you kind of a detriment, Ron. J.K. Rowling gives him a couple. Yeah, J.K. Rowling gives him like a couple like, oh, I realized we could do this moments, but like that's
He really does almost get them killed a lot.
I want to go on the record saying that I do like Ron personally.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like
I think-
that he's the everyman.
Yeah. Do you like the part in this movie where for some reason Harry and Hermione dance and like Harry's like making a move and she's like, I ain't into it.
It's so
Okay.
fucking awkward.
Well, I
All right.
wasn't sure if that was like him making a move or just trying to be a
The
friend.
the
So-
director specifically on record said that it was like him sort of like they were both toying with the idea of like maybe and then coming to the conclusion that no, they're not into it.
Which is weird because of the last movie.
It's well, it's especially weird, because Harry's like hopefully gonna get back together with Ginny is what he's thinking. But like, and also he's well aware that like she's into Ron.
Now, out of curiosity, like in terms of the book, since I haven't read this book, I mean, I don't think that there is the dancing scene, but is there any hint of
No.
Okay.
Harry's very specific. She's like a sister to me. Ron, she's like my sister. That's all it's ever been.
Which is odd, I feel like.
I really like the dancing scene. I think it's a really nice
of course
touch.
you do. Of course you do.
Damn it.
It's literally everybody that watched this movie says that dancing scene sucks and should have been cut.
No, there are a lot of people.
I kind of agree with Brian that I like it, but the thing is, I view it from the lens of not what the director said. Like, I like it in the lens of that they're both going through like a tough time, and it's kind of like a stress relief,
So the
rather
wrong
than him
lens.
making a move.
Harry's like
The incorrect. But that if that's the point, then the movie is conveying its scene wrong.
no.
See, I thought it left it like really ambiguous because I wasn't sure.
But it wasn't supposed to be.
I didn't think it was ambiguous.
But they left it ambiguous. Like, it's not my fault if they didn't do a good job
Exactly,
with that.
that's what I'm saying, though, is that that's not a good scene then if it's not getting its own message across.
But I didn't see
Okay,
that
well,
at all.
fair.
I thought that
Because
it was
I kind of
just-
viewed it as like a wartime, like when you see like in certain movies, like what was it like in Jojo Rabbit and he's like dancing with his mom? That's kind of like almost how I
Right.
felt about that scene.
And that
Yeah.
would be okay. But, like,
Mhm.
that's not what the director was trying to convey.
Gotcha.
I'm
He's
gonna,
on record as saying that wasn't what he was trying to convey.
I did not know
Gotcha.
that at this point, but like not knowing that, and I'm just gonna live in my own world and pretend that's not why it's in there. That I really like.
And this is why
They
we
should
have
have
to
done something
rectify.
else.
We have to
Look,
rectify.
you
Should've
do
been
a
like-
lot of
Yeah.
things. So, in terms of like, Pat, I want to go back to the books a little bit because I feel like David Yates, he's been doing these movies since 5, the director. He's been cutting a lot of stuff to make it work, which that's fair. You have to do that. But then in this movie and then in the next movie, they try to pay off on a lot of stuff, but they never put in like the work beforehand. So there's a lot of weird moments where it's just like, so this is I'm supposed to just kind of accept that it's here now, and like I feel like some stuff just like doesn't make sense. So like at the beginning with Hermione destroying her parents' memories is sad, but like having never even met them before, it doesn't hit as hard as it should.
Yeah, you're like, Catelyn Stark, no.
She's got to go off, go to the Red Wedding. Dudley's in the scene, but like, they filmed the redemption scene and then cut it of them like making up. Which, by the way, he lost a lot of weight, that actor, and the makeup department spent 6 months creating a face prosthetic to make him look like he had all that weight still.
And then they didn't use it.
Yeah, it's 6 months, man, half a year. When
Yikes.
all the people come in, does Bill say he's a werewolf out of nowhere? And like you just meet this kid, you're like, what? And then like they have like Lupin and Tonks like, hey, we're expecting, but they don't actually say it. And then they just have a kid later, and then like, who's Mundungus? Like, and then there's the Moody's eye on Umbridge's door, and you're just supposed to know that, which they don't have to outright tell us, but I feel like it could have been done a little bit better. And I'm very salty about the mirror shard, because that was one of my favorite things about the end of Order of the Phoenix, where he keeps looking in it, trying to see Sirius, and like it's like this like sad desperation of wanting him back. And then now they just throw it in there, and they don't explain it until the next movie. It's just like, why? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely weird. He definitely does suffer from not setting some stuff up in the previous movies and not taking the time to outright say some stuff. I'll ultimately agree with that. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with the Harry Potter movies, and why I think it would be really fun to do like a series, like a live action or animated series about Harry Potter that could, do a season for each book.
Yeah. And I don't want to sit here and say like this movie's bad, because like there's so much in this that I love, especially like the
think
scene
it's
when they're
solid
walking
one.
through like the countryside of England and they're playing the radio of like people that have been like captured or are dead or whatever, and you just have like this almost like Nazi Germany kind of feeling, and like like they have the little moments of like Hermione teaching Ron how to play piano, and like they're getting haircuts, so it's been a while. Like
Going back to what you said about there not being payoff, them using Grip Hook in the bank, who was the same goblin who took him to his bank in the first one, but they didn't actually draw attention to it in the first one, so it doesn't matter that it's him again this time.
I didn't know that until I was like looking up info. I was like, Oh, I guess that's the same
Yeah.
goblin, huh?
Yeah, in the books
I
they talk about it. Griphook's like, even in the Goblin world, Harry Potter is known as a hero because the Death Eaters were just killing non-humans. So
I'll talk about it a little bit in the next one because they go into it a little bit more. But I really like that they start to go into like who Dumbledore is, and they don't just like retire the character of like he was perfect. It's like no, there's some shady stuff
Yeah.
here.
yeah,
You
he
really
has
know what's
mints
going
in his
on.
closet.
How do you guys feel about the
Mhm.
Godric's Hollow scene with the snake lady?
I feel like Harry should have realized that was a bad situation a little bit sooner. That was super shady. Also, when he spoke parcel tongue to her, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I thought it was kind of creepy. It's interesting, very
Yeah.
Victorian feeling.
In the book, I remember feeling that there was something off about the scene, but because of the way it's presented in text, they're able to trick you a little more that this is like, oh, this is a lady that's always been talked about, Bathilda Bagshot, like she's the author of a book. Harry can probably trust her, because all
Yeah.
authors are perfect, right, and never make mistakes or do anything wrong.
Oof, big oof.
But so in the movie, you're just instantly like, Harry, what are you doing? Stop.
hmm
Hermione, why are you letting this happen?
Yeah, yeah. It was, yeah. I remember liking it a lot more than I did watching it this time. It's still like it's the stuff before that. I love just any scene set like at night with quiet snowfall and the fact that it's Christmas Eve or Christmas or whatever, and like they visit the graves. That's all really nice and all that. And then also, the humor in this one I feel is pretty good. Like when like Ron comes back and like Hermione wants the wand and Harry's just like, what wand? I don't know. And like I want like that was funny. And then when Harry's testing the wand with the fire in the tent, and it, like this big huge fire erupts. Like I actually laughed out loud at that. That's pretty funny.
Has some nice little moments of relief.
And now I do have some criticism of like J.K. Rowling and the story of all of it because I feel like, especially in this one and the next one, her and Polyjuice Potion, she just really likes that stuff, and like it's good, but it feels almost like a Deus Ex Machina of just like we're gonna keep.
I don't
bringing
know.
that
I feel like
back.
it's a nice callback to Chamber of Secrets. Like they're using what they've learned. Like they've
Yeah,
gained these skills throughout the previous adventures, and now they're actually going to put them to work.
Yeah, kind of shows like maybe they were
Why-
And none of them
learning in
turned into a
school.
cat this time.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, wouldn't the Ministry, like the government, have something to stop that?
Why do the voices sometimes change and sometimes don't?
That's fair. Like
Yeah,
Mad Eye
that-
just had
that
his
is-
own voice.
Yeah,
Like,
that is wrong. I don't know why. But I mean, this isn't D&D. There isn't like dispel magic cast on everything.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I thought that was really funny when that woman ends up kissing Ron.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
that was a really funny scene.
That's good. That's good.
Boy.
So what do you guys think about like the style and the direction of this movie?
I really liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this movie has a lot of really great cinematography. I really like the lighting that they go for in this one. It's dark, but not too dark. Like there's still a glimmer of hope
Mm-hmm.
represented in the lighting. I really enjoy all of the creatures and the way they look, both the returning ones and the new ones.
CG's just perfect from now on. Like
yeah.
it's fine. It all looks
Yeah.
good.
And finally in this one, because they're not at Hogwarts, it makes sense they're not in their wizarding robes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like they're on the run. So it
I really-
actually
yeah.
works.
I really like.
I love the scenes. Like, I think I like this movie so much because they're not in Hogwarts, and like you said, the cinematography. I feel like they really captured like a lot of the natural landscapes really beautifully, and even the scenes when they're in London. Like, I love it when they're in that cafe.
Yeah.
I don't know, like something about it. Maybe I just like have this enamoration with like Britain or something like that.
Yeah.
I've never been there, but I think it just looks so cool.
Yeah, seeing them bring like the wizarding stuff into the real world is always a fun aspect, even as the earliest we ever really saw that was the flying car in Chamber of Secrets. So it's really cool seeing that kind of come back here.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know, it's a lot of fun getting to see them use their magic in settings outside of school.
Absolutely. I really like the scene where like they go to the Black House and then like she does the spell and then she's like we're alone and then it just fades to black. Like I was like okay, this movie it's got like a good feel to it. And then the art style of the story for the Deathly Hallows, like it's like Tim Burton but like with like a really cool like tan and black color scheme. I really like
that's always been one of my favorite parts of this movie is that whole scene. I think it's so cool, the animation that they did, and like the fact that it feels like it really brings you into that story rather than just having them. Like, I don't feel like it would have been as good with like live action or if they just sat there and told it. I don't know. I like it the way that they did that.
Also, shout out to Ivana Lynch, who plays Luna. She's so good as her. Just perfect.
Yeah.
She came up with the dance moves for the wedding. Like, she was the one who just, like, figured how to dance all weird.
Yeah.
Great.
She plays weird really well.
And then I got to give a shout out to the music. Alexandre Desplat did it. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. But he's done Fantastic Mr. Fox, Argo, Shape of Water, and he also does the next Harry Potter. And he's gotten 2 Oscars. So he's good. He's a good composer, and I feel like he's probably the best other than John Williams, of course.
Yeah.
So,
he does a solid job.
Overall, how do you think about this one?
I felt like it pierced my heart like that dagger pierced Dobby.
Oh.
And I enjoyed it. I think it's really good. I'd put it, I forget, do we talk about both movies then rank them, or do we rank this one?
We're going to rank this one and go to the next one, but let's hear everybody else's thing first, and then we
Gotcha. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Joe. Sorry. I'm probably...
I was just going to say that...
Yeah. Sorry.
I was just going to say that I like it a lot. I thought it was a very cool movie. I enjoyed so many of the scenes with them being outside of Hogwarts. I already said a lot of this stuff, but I thought it was a very different kind of movie for them, and I liked it a lot.
Opposite to what Pat said, I don't get the sense of hope throughout the movies, honestly.
Watch the dance scene.
Well, they are the hope.
They are the hope, but I feel like a lot of times throughout the movie they're just accosted, and so like it almost feels like there's no break for them, so it's, I don't know, it feels like the world's closing in on them. I don't necessarily get a sense of like, so yes, they are the hope, but they're alone, if that makes any sense. And I it almost feels like they're losing hope in themselves. So
yeah, absolutely.
Already being a depressing person myself, it kind of doesn't work with me. But I get it why it would be a good movie. That being said, it does just feel like, again, a setup movie. I feel like the last like 3 movies, including this one, are setup movies, and we're all just building up to this last one. Like, I don't get a sense of finality to anything in regards to the last 3 movies. Like, we didn't even finish all the Horcruxes in this movie. So it's like that should have at least been done, I feel like.
Well, then that wouldn't make sense for like any of the plot points.
Yeah, the hope's there. They got them all. Like
involving the snake or Harry.
So I feel like this is their like Empire Strikes Back. It's not as, it's not like this like masterpiece of cinema, but it's pretty good. They kind of get that feeling of like, hey, things are kind of shitty right now, and like people keep dying, and things aren't looking good, and they can't even stay together really well, and like the emotions of that hit. That being said, this is the only film without Dean Thomas, so it's dead last.
Oh, they cut it. That's right. They did cut out Dean Thomas.
Dean Thomas this is the only movie without Dean Thomas, and that's
weird because
right.
He gets a lot to do in the book. Well, not a lot, but he gets a chunk. He's a pretty pervasive in the ending of where this movie would have ended.
Yeah, but honestly, this is my 3rd favorite movie. Where do you guys want to place it?
I put it behind Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh, so 2nd.
I would put it behind Chamber of Secrets.
Yikes.
I'd probably put it first, to be honest. There's a lot that I really like about this movie.
I'm gonna go 2nd with Pat, because I think it's better than Goblet, but I don't think like this. Yes, it's the books to a T, and they get the feeling down. But whereas the cuts that they made in 3 made that feel like a complete movie, this one does have the detraction of like some of this I just have to either know because I've read the books, or just have someone explain to me and tell me. So
dinner.
Dude, what an opening scene.
It's so funny. I don't know why it's so funny.
It's unsettling. Oh, so
That scene is like with how good Snape keeps character too around all of that. Like that was, I thought that was cool.
changes. His colleague just gets eaten. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we good putting this in second then?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Second
Sure.
it is. All right, it's time for a segment, Guess the Tops. So I have here a couple of rankings from different websites and all that, and I'm going to have you guys maybe just guess maybe like the first one and then maybe the last one. So let's do Rotten Tomatoes. So what do you think is the highest rated Harry Potter movie on Rotten Tomatoes, and what do you think is the dead last?
I'm going to say dead last is Prisoner of Azkaban, just to spite me. And I'm going to say the top one is going to be either Order of the Phoenix, to spite me, or Deathly Hallows Part 2, to spite me.
Pat, do you think the world hates you?
Everything is to spite Pat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the bottom being Half-Blood Prince and the top being Frick, Goblet of Fire.
Oh, okay. Tom,
I
what
don't
do you
know
think?
why.
I'd probably go bottom Half-Blood Prince, top Prisoner of Azkaban, because I feel like people rate that one high.
So this one's pretty tough. I'm gonna go from 8th on up. So the dead last one is Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Hey!
Wow.
That's such bullshit.
Nah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not.
got a 77.
Such bullshit.
It's not.
Tom's opinion's crap.
It's not.
Fan voting put it above other films, over a lot of other films. In fact, fans put it second.
Okay, there we go.
Or third.
Fans
third.
know.
They put it third.
They're getting
but
close.
yeah, no, they critics put it dead last. Order of the Phoenix is next at 78, so they said it was slightly better, but it's not. Sorcerer's Stone 81, Half-Blood Prince at 83.
Oh.
Chamber of Secrets is also at 83, but I put that above because fans put it above Half-Blood Prince, which I don't agree with, but whatever. Third, they put Goblet of Fire at 88. Azkaban gets a 90, and then Deathly Hallows Part 2 gets a 96.
That is such a load
Wow.
of balls.
96%
Wow.
from critics. We'll get into that in a little
Man,
bit.
can you tell what my
Just shows you
opinion of
can't
this
trust
movie
critics.
is? Yeah.
All right. In terms of box office, the highest one obviously is the Deathly Hallows Part 2 that made over $1 billion. And Prisoner of Azkaban actually made the least, $796 million.
Wow.
And then I'm gonna give this to one person, Joey. Where does it rank in the top-selling franchises of all time?
What?
Where does Harry Potter and the Wizarding World, so Fantastic Beasts, out of all the movie franchises, like Fast and Furious, Star Wars, Marvel, James Bond, where does it rank in the highest-selling franchises of all time? In terms of box office, money made, all that good stuff.
I don't know. Let's go with like third.
Congratulations, you win.
Oh, you got it right.
You
Really?
are correct, yeah.
Wow.
Behind Marvel and Star Wars?
Uh-huh. MCU's 1, Star Wars is 2, third is Avengers. Dude, 4 is Avengers. Like, the Avengers alone are the 4th highest selling franchise of all time.
Yikes. That's crazy.
That's
And
all right.
5th is Spider-Man, but he got 3 tries, so that's not fair. All right,
Yeah.
Here we go. Deathly Hallows Part 2. Came out in 2011, the big end. I remember it being way over the top blockbustery, but J.K. Rowling didn't really give them a lot to work with like the dragon escape and the war and the random deaths and all that. So I went in skeptical but ready for a fun ride.
It was bad.
I feel like it goes too blockbuster for me. There's a lot. They add a lot of like extra like blockbuster action hero moments, bunch of weird moments of like fan service, like
Accurate.
Neville taking the time to yell that he needs to go tell Luna he loves her, even though that's not anywhere in the books, and in fact Luna marries an entirely different person. And they don't even really set it up properly in the movies either. That's just something they were like, I got to do this now.
No setup. No setup. Mm-hmm.
No setup. The Ron and Hermione stuff they focus on a little more than they do in the books. They do a little bit in the books too, but it's fine. That didn't
like
bother me
that.
too much.
Like the kiss they have in the Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine. Harry grabbing Voldemort and jumping off as they like
Oh.
teleport around Hogwarts is my least favorite thing in this movie by far.
That might be one of the worst things they added in that wasn't in the books of just like
really-
out of the whole franchise. Like, what are you doing?
Really rough. I the two or the I will say the thing I like the two things I like the most that really stood out for me as moments I enjoy is Neville's time to shine.
Nice, yeah.
He cuts off Nagini's head and he gets
Dude,
his
with
big
an
speech.
upcut. It's not
Yeah.
even down. It's upcut. It's
He just
cool.
like fully gets his moment in the sun that I really like because it really is a payoff of the series that the movies actually set up properly.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is going to be, of course, Alan Rickman's performance with the big reveal about Snape. The acting of that is incredible. I actually, when I saw it in theaters for the first time, I cried a little bit.
That whole scene, man.
Yeah, that scene's rough.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I think the rest of the movie doesn't follow through on the quality that scene provides.
Pat, I want to bring up just a couple of things.
Nagini.
So other than that, I feel like there are two things that you're forgetting about that make this movie great. One of them is the hug that Voldemort gives Draco.
Oh, God.
Yes,
Which-
you're right. That
which was-
the most uncomfortable thing I've ever seen in a movie.
It was improvised.
It was.
Ray Fiennes just did it, and then Tom Felton was just like, okay.
That is so good. It is perfect.
And then the second, of course, is Voldemort's laugh when he says Harry Potter is dead. I feel like Ray Fiennes went full like Ian McDermott levels of just getting into the character and just having a good time being crazy evil.
Yeah.
Still preferred him in the graveyard more to how he acted in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a little
definitely.
cartoony.
Don't you
Yeah,
look
the
away from me,
graveyard, he's
Harry
just
Potter.
full.
I want to see the light leave you.
Yeah, no, he's,
Like, I wanted
way
more of
too
that,
mean.
and I don't feel like
But-
we got that.
To be fair, in this movie, there's the scene I was blown away that they had it in there. The scene where they leave Gringotts and he shows up and just murders all the guards, and there's blood on the ground, and he's like walking through it barefoot. Like, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later on, when Neville's leading them through the tunnel to get to the Hogwarts, I didn't catch it the first time I watched it, but they're like, yeah, they're having us practice the Cruciatus Curse on first years. They're having people in class torturing 11-year-olds. And they just drop that in there. It's like, oh my god, like that's
Well, like,
That's
you can't
insane.
Stuff
really
like
Insanely
that, though,
dark.
bothers me because I'm like, we get it. They're evil.
yeah, that's fair.
Like, what's the benefit for torturing the first years? To militarize them into hating them?
I guess. I don't know. I
don't know.
honestly, Voldemort's plan just feels weird to me in general.
I mean, he is like a 35-year-old man obsessed with like a school and Harry Potter.
Definitely not 35.
How old is he? I don't know.
I mean, he might be physically, like, I don't know. I don't think he counts as anything physically, but, like, he's been gone for, like, 18 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
so he's like probably
he
in
was
his
probably
50s
like
or 60s.
substantial age when he killed his parents. So.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
betting he's probably in his 50s or 40s.
Oh. Okay, that's fair. And then going to like the cuts from the books and all that. You know, they explain the shard and all that crap. But the biggest thing is they never tell us that Harry's cloak is the Deathly Hallow.
Oh, they don't?
They don't.
No?
Hmm.
They'd
That's
be
right.
like,
They hint
he
to
doesn't.
it.
He doesn't even use it to get to Voldemort like he does that in the book, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, he gets the
And,
stone, he drops in the forest, he breaks the wand, and then like, what about the
Yeah.
invisibility cloak? Uh-huh.
Yeah. He makes use of all three hollows in the book.
Yeah, he's the master of death. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
What a metal title that is. The Master of Death.
Yeah.
It is I, Harry Potter, the Master of Death.
Like, that would have been cool if he rolled up on Voldemort saying that shit.
Yeah. Just like looking
Yeah.
pimp.
Dude, can you? I don't know if they
Just
portrayed
his
it
head
well enough or
showing.
not.
It's like, I am the master of death.
He's got grills on for some reason.
Oh, what?
Pimp slaps him with the ring.
He's got like a clock that spins backwards, like.
This is my time, Turner.
But like just the scene where he wakes up again, and like Voldemort thought he was dead. Just the terror that man must feel of like, I've tried to kill him so many times and he just keeps coming back.
Mhm.
Like, that's horrifying from his perspective.
Yeah.
Did
the
anyone
evil
feel
person.
like the explanation for why he survived was kind of just
All right,
a
we're
little
getting into it.
weird?
What insane thing does Dumbledore do in this movie? So first he comes back from hell to just mess with Harry. Of course, Dumbledore went to hell. Like, come on.
Sure.
The Voldemort baby thing, it's somehow his fault. I don't know. He manipulated Snape pretty much. Like, I get why, but like he was pretty manipulative with that stuff. He never told Harry it was a Horcrux until like it was way too late and had someone else do it. Which I get, but come on.
But that was the plan.
But yeah, no. When I read it in the books, I read it like 3 times, and I was like, but why does he come back? And like I get it now. It makes sense. Like there were
It's
2
'cause
souls in him.
I think, yeah, like that soul, essentially, Voldemort's soul tanked the hit from the Avada Kedavra.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Harry's
so
soul
he's
didn't
free
get
now.
hit by it.
Yeah,
So-
it makes a lot of sense.
God
I don't know
damn
why I
it.
didn't get it at the start,
No.
but
It does make sense. It's just, it ultimately, yeah.
But it's like he intended to kill Harry. Like, I don't understand how he somehow.
Because the soul tanked the hit.
I-
It's
Yeah,
him,
that's
him doing it.
he killed a Horcrux.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It's so weird. So weird.
But I do really like, as much as I've made fun of Dumbledore, I do really like when he's leaving and he's like, of course it's happening inside your head. Like, that doesn't mean it's not real. Like, it's so weird. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's such a Dumbledore thing to say. Like,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
I was like, sure. Harry's
No.
now going to go through the rest of his life knowing there's a confirmed afterlife.
Yep.
I have 2 criticisms about this. One small one, just like when Voldemort talks to everybody and they're like, "Why just grab Harry?" And then they have the entirety of Slytherin go to the dungeons, escorted by Filch,
Yeah.
the non-magic user.
Yeah.
And do they just hide out in the dungeons while the whole war goes?
Yeah, that's true. I'd be really surprised if Filch survived.
And
If like
so
a
is
7th
all
year
of-
Slytherin student wouldn't turn around and just kill him.
Is all of Slytherin evil? Are we just at that level? Like all of them are mistrust? Like I feel like some of them. are
That
probably
might have to
good.
be an interrogation scene. That's just not enough time in the movie. to do.
Unfortunately, I think that's a book thing. Like in the book, all of Slytherin's ready to side with Voldemort.
Huh. Okay then. fair
Wow.
enough.
Besides
the other-
Malfoy for some reason.
Yeah. The other thing, this might be my least favorite thing about this movie. Harry's like, fuck, I gotta die. Okay. He goes and visits Ron and Hermione cries and hugs him, and he says goodbye. He doesn't say a word to Ron. I don't even think they look at each other.
He was like, Ron, we both know what you did earlier this year. Go to hell.
Like, nothing. Not even a wave.
Just looks at him.
Off to his
I was the
death.
better Weasley. I could have
Like,
easily
Your
taken
mother
your
loved
place.
me more than you.
This bothers me
does.
more than it bothers me more than the Leia and Chewie thing from Force Awakens. Of like, why would you ignore that connection at this moment? Like, it's very obvious that I don't know that just it didn't sit right with me. There's a lot of stuff I love about this movie, but that one thing I'm like, why
What do we think of the character deaths?
off screen?
Yeah.
I mean, them realizing that Fred is dead and crying over him, very touching. And that's fine being like that, like a surprise, like oh shit, he died.
That's not fine. That's
you can have
not
one of
okay.
those. You can have one of those, but then when it's just like, oh yeah, Lupin and Tonks are just laying there. Like, what?
Yeah. And here's the thing, I get the argument that it's like, it's supposed to be realistic. You don't know what's going to happen in a war and like who's going to die. And it's like, yeah, but it's also a movie about wizards and magic and wands. So like maybe, as far as like the overall arching story, these characters were important to Harry and not letting them like actually have a moment, even if it's not a moment for Harry, a moment for us, the viewer.
Yeah.
To like be impacted by their death and not just be numb to it. Like, oh, guess they're dead. Oh, I
It's
guess
fine
they're
that
dead
they're
too.
dead. Like they can die, both of them, but show me. I've watched those characters, especially Lupin, since the 3rd one. Like I deserve to see that. You put in so much work on these 2 characters. Let me see them die.
To be fair, I also think that J.K. Rowling made a mistake killing Lupin. Like it was such a stereotypical, like the whole gang had to die.
Yeah, yeah.
I think what Brian is trying to say
James's
is he
friends.
wanted to see the light leave their eyes.
Mhm.
Damn,
wanna
I was
see
gonna
the
make that
light leave his
comment. Yeah, I was waiting.
Don't you hide them from me, Rowling.
Let me see it.
All right, style and direction of this movie. What do you guys think? I feel like they did a pretty good job.
The style was really good. I don't like the direction of adding scenes of action. Oh,
I
action,
like
sorry,
the
the
war
blockbuster
scenes.
scenes.
Like they're all running around and it's chaos and like there's
That
giants
that stuff's
and
cool. Yeah.
spiders and
Although Harry, Ron, and Hermione, I saw someone talk about how they flee from the monsters that are focused upon in the first three movies, the spiders, the Dementors, and the troll. But they don't actually like defeat them themselves. They just kind of run away, and then like
yeah.
Aberforth defeats the Dementors, and you're like, Harry, Ron, and Hermione could definitely take out those Dementors with the Patronus Aberforth. What you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
let them have one moment of defeating monsters instead of them running away the whole time.
That's fair. As far as the music goes, I didn't realize that they had brought some themes back from the first and second movie that they haven't used since then.
They brought
But
what?
Music.
some like musical themes, which is
Oh.
hard to realize because you haven't listened to the soundtrack, presumably since you watched that movie, which could have been 10 years ago. But there was like a family theme they brought back, a one for friendship with Ron and Hermione, and for flying, and one for the train too, that they just kind of reused again, which I felt like was a really nice touch. Apparently, John Williams wanted to come back, but his schedule is, book packed to the minute, so he could not do it.
Okay.
So, our overall feelings about this one. Now, I'm going to come out and say it. Is it a big blockbuster? Yes. Do they miss out on a lot of stuff because they had to cut stuff from the earlier movies? Yes. Is it pretty flawed? Yeah. But do I enjoy it still? Yeah. Yeah. The emotional stuff, like Harry's dead family showing up, and like it's the big end movie and the Snape sequence, and
I just don't feel like it lands on its feet as the big conclusion to the saga. Also, everyone looks weird when they're old.
they do. They look real
that's
weird.
so weird.
It didn't pull off the prosthetics or the CG or anything.
Jenny,
Child
especially.
actors,
not at all.
Jenny's-
child actors were perfect pick. Like they look very much like these people's kids.
Yeah.
Actors themselves, what age are they?
I think Harry's approximately 62 years old. Ron might be 47. Hermione is probably 30.
Yeah, that seems
Yeah,
right.
they're all over the place. Yeah. All right, you want to rank them?
I'm gonna put this one above Sorcerer's Stone.
Above Sorcerer's Stone.
Right?
Okay.
Wait. Which one's last?
Last is Order Phoenix.
Oh, Order of the Phoenix, then Sorcerer's Stone. Right.
If you're going up, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
above
let me say it
Sorcerer's
really
Stone.
quick. So right now it's Prisoner of Azkaban, Deathly Hallows 1, Goblet of Fire, Chamber of Secrets, Half-Blood Prince, Sorcerer's Stone, and Order of the Phoenix.
I'm gonna put it above Sorcerer's Stone.
I'll do that as well.
I even think it's worse than Sorcerer's Stone. It's final. I'll give it that. Like, it ends the story, but I don't think it ends it well enough.
I think it does, but the way we have the ranking, the next movie is Half-Blood Prince, and I like Half-Blood Prince more, so I have to agree that it's third to last, right above Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah. Oh well.
So that's it. We've got our ranking. Dead last, Order of the Phoenix. Second to last, in seventh slot we got Sorcerer's Stone.
Just say them in order.
Yeah, I'm going. Sixth place we got Deathly Hallows Part 2. Fifth place Half-Blood Prince. Fourth place Chamber of Secrets, which is way too high, but whatever. I'm so salty. Third place Goblet of Fire. Second place Deathly Hallows Part 1, and first place we have Prisoner of Azkaban. Let us know what you think of that ranking, because that's pretty different from everything I see online.
Yeah, this is the definitive list, though, the correct one.
Yeah, we crossed it. Daniel Radcliffe is cool with it. We asked him.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, what's going on with Daniel Radcliffe? The present thing going on. So he's recently done, well, not recently, but since Harry Potter, he's done Victor Frankenstein, and he was in Now You See Me 2. And then this year he put out Guns Akimbo and Escape from Pretoria, which were both met with pretty okay reception.
Yeah. Remember that time he played a corpse in Swiss Army
It
Man?
was great. I
I
loved
could
watching
see
that
that.
in theaters.
That was a weird movie. One of the weirdest movies I've ever seen.
It was great. No, I love that movie.
The
so
Haunted
weird.
Corpse.
He had the scene in Deathly Hallows Part 2, and he's like, I could make a whole movie like this. I'm pretty good at playing dead. Like,
Yeah.
He does. He does.
But I should fart a lot, too.
Yeah.
on
point.
TV, He's a lead in Miracle Workers. It's on TBS. It's a comedy that sounds like it's The Good Place, Angels in the Afterlife, and all that. He's been in a lot of theater productions, most notably How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. And then, similar to Emma Watson, he's been pretty charitable, especially with the Trevor Project, which is an anti-suicide LGBTQ organization. They gave him like a hero award, so he's been donating there quite a bit.
But where's Ron's actor? I feel like I haven't seen him do anything.
We talked about that last time in the last Harry Potter episode.
And, even then, I didn't care. All right.
He's Macklemore. He's actually Macklemore.
Oh, God.
That's like his side project.
Did any of you guys see The Woman in Black? Daniel Radcliffe was in that as well.
No, I didn't see that. But
like
I
that
know
was
about it.
Maybe Devontae
Yeah,
did?
that was a pretty good movie. It wasn't
Being
like
horror?
full-on horror or anything like that, but it was like freaky
It's like
a little bit.
suspenseful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then, as far as the future segment, I feel like we could talk about Fantastic Beasts and all that. We don't want to get into it too much, but do you recommend them? If people enjoyed Harry Potter, should they go and watch the Fantastic Beasts? Does it literally capture the magic?
I have not watched them, so I don't know.
I'm in the same boat.
So I've only seen the first one. I didn't see Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them 2, but I liked the first one. And being someone who like really likes animals a lot, I thought it was kind of a cool twist that Newt Scamander is like, really into all that stuff. So it was kind of cool to see the different creatures throughout the Harry Potter universe. I don't think it quite captures, at least the first one for me didn't quite capture the same kind of feeling that Harry Potter does, because I don't think it has like as dark of overtones, but I liked it still. I thought it was enjoyable, and if you like Harry Potter, I think you'll definitely enjoy it.
I also have a similar experience where I've only seen the first one and not the second one. I share your sentiments. I just wish that the main character, Newt Scamander, actually spoke up. He is so fucking quiet in that movie.
I will say the second one, Crimes of Grindelwald, I think is supposed to be a little bit darker. It's Grindelwald. He's a dark
I heard that
wizard
it's a
and all
weaker
that.
movie, though.
Yeah, it's at a 36 or something on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oof.
So.
I do think a lot of it is due to people hating on Johnny Depp during that time frame.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that could be.
I just heard he doesn't play that character very well.
Oh,
Like, he's really cartoonish.
I don't know.
The next one, the third one, is coming out in November of 2021, and Steve Kloves, who wrote all of the Harry Potter films except for the fifth one, is supposed to help J.K. Rowling write that. So maybe they could make something really cool there. Now,
Yeah.
in terms of the big questions for the Harry Potter franchise as a whole, I've got three questions here.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Please.
Jeez.
All right, I'll make it 2. I was going to ask which director you like best, but I feel like we'd all just say the guy who did 3, Alfonso Cuarón or whatever. So, what do you think of the franchise as a whole?
Like the including movies and books and
Let's just keep it to the movies. What do you think about these 8 movies overall? What's your feelings on them?
they're solid. They like do a decent enough job, but they mean a lot to a lot of people. So I think they were worthwhile to be made.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that they're solid movies, but I also think that because they mean a lot to a lot of people, I think that they kind of get judged harshly in a lot of times, but I still think that they're good movies, and I think that they probably even brought a lot of other people who didn't read the books into enjoying Harry Potter and maybe even going on to read the books.
I could see that. I mean, there's a lot of books, so like it was an enormous task to make this. It's like a decade of work. And like there's some mistakes in there for sure, but I think overall watching them now, because I don't know if I've ever seen all of them, especially in like a consecutive order, I enjoyed it more than I thought, and I think about them pretty positively now. And I gotta respect them because like there's no MCU without like the Harry Potter universe and all that. They kind of, I mean, like Star Wars was like the first like big franchise and all that, but I feel like Harry Potter did a lot of work for like modern blockbusters and splitting the end into 2 parts and all that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and obviously, I think it all stems from the books, but the movies also do a good job of growing with the audience. So
That's true too. Yeah, as it goes on, it gets darker and more adult. Yeah. So overall, that's our thoughts. Now, really quickly, what house are you in?
Hufflepuff.
Ravenclaw.
Hufflepuff for sure.
I am in Ravenclaw. Looks like that 50-50. We'll have to.
Devontae's
ask.
definitely a Gryffindor.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
we
I
go.
could see that.
Pat is now the Sorting Hat. He gets to place Devontae. All right. So there we go. We've wrapped up.
Better be.
We've wrapped up Harry Potter, and not only that, but we've wrapped up our first year as a podcast. This was the last episode ever. We're ending the show.
Don't say that. Your jokes like that always cause us to get less viewers.
We are not ending the show. We are continuing on to year 2. So we've had some great moments. In terms of like my favorite moments, Joey wasn't there for the BioShock episode. That was good. Pat didn't make it to one of the Pauscurs. I enjoyed that. Sometimes Tom wasn't there. And I really enjoyed talking about Resident Evil with Devontae. That was fun.
What?
Yikes.
All right.
I really like when we talk about how we should replace Brian as host.
Anyway, we've
becoming more
talked.
apparent.
Yeah.
It's becoming more apparent.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about like the Antichrist and the crash of an ending Game of Thrones had, memes and money-hungry raccoons and underwater dystopias, and we're just getting started. We've got a lot of fun things planned for year 2.
I said wrap up, and you're still going.
I'm wrapping up a year of podcasts. Have some decorum, all right? We're going to keep growing and having a good time. But thanks to all of you guys, not just the listeners, but you guys here with me and Devontae as well, for making some fun stuff the past year. It's been a good time.
You're welcome.
Thank
Next
you.
week,
Thank you.
what's the next episode going to be about?
All right, so let us know what you thought of this and all that. We're going to be streaming pretty soon. We got our listening goals. All that stuff's in the description below. Share with somebody. We hope you'd enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening for the past year. We can't wait to see you in year 2 of the Pause Button Podcast. But for now, Tom, how are we going to start year 2?
Year 2, we're going to start off talking about the better series than Harry Potter, Charlie Bone! It was a great series. It was an American written adaptation that had a different take on basically what Harry Potter is. So listen forward to that.
It's a deep cut. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
We're going full indie next year.
Charlie Bone. Look it up.
But for now.
Now we're going to hit pause.